everybody. Tonight we're going to be making some sheet pan chicken fajitas using our Mexican kit. And we're going to be making up some guacamole and some salsa. So let's get started and I'll bring you over here. Okay. We're going to start by chopping up the peppers. You'll see that I'm chopping the top and the bottom off. And then we're going to slice down the side. And then we're just going to slice along the pepper and take out the seeds. This contains your seeds, and then you won't have those scattering about on your cutting board, and it'll give you some nice uniform strips. And then we are actually going to chop the top and the bottom into strips as well, and the only waste that you'll have is the stem. So I started chopping up my peppers and then realized that I needed to mix up my fajita seasoning quickly first. So we're just going to switch over and do that. We have some oil in the bowl, and then I'm going to be adding our fajita seasoning. This does have a little bit of a kick, so depending on your spice level tolerance, you may want to add less or more. The original recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. We don't like it as spicy at our house, so you'll see me adding a tablespoon plus another teaspoon. So you'll see me measuring using the 4-in-1 spice spoon. It's really cool because there's 4 different measurements on one tool. It takes up less space in your drawer, and I find it really handy in the kitchen. The next thing we'll be doing is adding a bit of salt and pepper. As you know, Epicure's products are low sodium, so you can adjust the level of salt to your liking. And that's it. We're just giving it a little stir here, and then we're going to chop up all of our peppers and onions. So the last thing that needs to be chopped up before everything goes onto our sheet pan is our chicken breasts. I'm using 2 chicken breasts. They're fairly large, and I'm chopping these up using our ceramic knife. It is super sharp and super handy. Everything's going to get tossed into the bowl, and it's going to be mixed around with our delicious seasoning, and then it's all going to be put onto our sheet pan, and easy peasy. So we're just going to give this a quick mix, make sure that everything's coated with our seasoning, and then it's going to go onto our sheet pan. So that's looking really good. This is our sheet pan with our sheet pan liner. You'll see that this is a silicone sheet pan liner. Makes cleanup super duper easy, and I love it for so many things. I have a little bit of seasoning at the bottom there, so we're just going to scrape that out and mix it up a little bit more on our tray so that it's good to go. And then I'm kind of evenly displacing our chicken just so that everything cooks nice and even. So this is going to go in your oven for about 20 minutes and dinner will be ready. In the meantime, we're going to make some salsa. I'm using our 4-cup prep bowl, which has a silicone lid, and some tomatoes, as well as our Poco Picante salsa mix. The mix does have a little bit of a kick to it, and it has jalapenos in it, so you can use more or less spice as you want. We like it a little less spicy in our house. I'm just double checking the recipe here, but I'm going to just use 1 tablespoon instead of 2. So let's chop up our tomatoes. We're just going to dice those. I'm using my ceramic knife, which cuts through tomatoes like a dream. I really love it for that. So our next step is to add our lime. I'm just going to cut this in half and then we're going to use our citrus press. So you'll notice that this has 2 compartments. We have the green and the yellow. The green's what we're going to be using today, but I just wanted to show you here that there is yellow. You can use this for lemon, and then when you flip it, the green is for the lime. So you don't want to put it in like this, the way that you think that it would go. You want to invert it because we're going to be squishing out all of our juice. And I'm just going to give it a little squish, and there we go. That's enough. We'll use the rest for our guacamole. The next step is to add our Poco Picante salsa mix. So I'm going to be adding in 2 tablespoons. Depending on your spice level, you can add more or less as you like. And we're just giving it a little stir. And doesn't that look great? Let's put a lid on this and get on to our guacamole. So we have some ripe avocados here. You don't want to cut into your avocado sideways like this. You want to actually do it lengthways, and we're going to go all the way around, just cutting in. There is a pit inside, so you just want to go down to the pit and then give it a little twist like that. Easy to get out the pit when your avocado's ripe. And then I'm just going to use a spoon to scoop out everything inside. So now our next step is to mash our avocados. I'm just using a fork here, and it's pretty easy when they're very ripe. It might take a little bit more effort if yours aren't quite ripe, but it should be pretty easy to mash them down. So I'm just giving this one last stir, and then we're going to be adding in our guacamole seasoning. Depending on the size of your avocados and how many you use, you might want to adjust this a little bit. I'm not quite putting in the full amount because my avocados were smaller. And then I'm just adding in a little bit of sea salt. As you know, Epicure's products are low sodium, so you can adjust this to your liking. And then just a little squeeze of lime juice, and we're good to go. So I'm just going to store mine in one of my 1-cup prep bowls, and we're good to go. We have fresh guacamole. All right, dinner's ready. Here's our sheet pan fajitas. Everything looks really good. We're gonna get out our guacamole and our salsa that we made, along with some toppings, and put these on a plate.